What's up, Amazon sellers? Are you thinking about competing against Amazon? And if you can compete with them, well, in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 ways to compete against Amazon. Stay tuned. Right, if you don't know who I am, my name is Thomas Parkinson, and I've been selling on Amazon now for 4 years doing online arbitrage. Right now, I'm on a mission to do £1 million over the course of 2021. And if you want to see more about that, check out that link up there. Now, quite simply, I like to share videos with you, and I post different videos all the time about specific online arbitrage topics every single week. So if you are interested in learning more about online arbitrage and selling on Amazon, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, because obviously you are going to get notified when I have new videos out. But hey, let's crack on with the content today. First things first, number 1, why is it important to compete versus Amazon? Obviously to know. Number 2, can you actually compete against Amazon? I will explain all. Number 3, I'm going to share with you the 3 ways to compete versus Amazon. Number 4, I'll share some top tips. And then finally, number 5, I'm going to talk about, do third-party sellers compete against Amazon as well? And I will share the poll results with you. First things first, why is it important? Well, look, Amazon has a big competitive advantage. Simply put, Amazon is a data-driven company. So most of their decisions on repricing, purchasing stock are coming from the data that they have collected from the products that you, me, and Amazon are selling on the marketplace. Now, I'll put it out there. Amazon knows what is sold in the past, the speed, the volume, even the amount of stock that you and I have held, which products they're buying and what they're searching for, what they actually buy, and also at what prices they buy, and lots more information as well. Now, with all these advantages, Amazon third-party sellers can really struggle when they compete versus Amazon, since they just don't have all this information to hand, which Amazon has. Now, this leads to some third-party sellers quite simply avoiding products whereby Amazon is on the listing. Now, although there are times when Amazon joins your listing which you're already selling on, which is unavoidable, so it's important to know the best way to go about dealing with this, whatever your stance is on the issue. Whether joining a listing with Amazon, how to deal with it if Amazon comes on, and obviously what to do. Now, what I will say is stay to the end of this video, because I'm going to share with you the percentage of sellers who do compete against Amazon, and I think it might surprise you. We asked a recent poll result with over 100 people replying. Now, this leads me nicely on to chapter number 2. Can you actually compete versus Amazon? Well, you might be asking this question before you start to compete versus Amazon. And the short answer is yes, you can, but it's going to be challenging because there are risks and issues which you might encounter when you compete versus Amazon. Now, one of them, which is going to be struggling to win the buy box when competing versus Amazon. Now, you might be asking, first of all, what is the buy box? Well, quite simply, this is displayed on the product page when you view the add to cart button. Now, the customers use this add to cart button to add their items to shopping lists. Now, what I'll do is I'll share an overlay around here of the buy box. And quite simply, if you are on the controlling of the buy box, you are generally going to get about 90% of the sales of that listing. So that is why getting control of that buy box, having your name underneath that buy box, is going to be super important. Now, the next question you might be asking is, how do you actually win the buy box and get your name underneath that buy box so that you are the seller? Well, simply put, you need to have the right metrics or achieve the right standing on Amazon. Now, quite simply, what does this mean? Well, we don't fully understand how the algorithm works because Amazon doesn't tell us exactly, but they do tell us the influencing factors. Generally speaking, there are 3 core areas that you should be thinking about to get right in order to stand a very good chance of winning the buy box. First things first, you need a professional selling account. Without that, not possible. Number 2, you generally want to be fulfillment by Amazon, fulfillment type, using Amazon's warehouses. And then finally, you want to be the cheapest price. If you hit those 3, you've got a very good chance of winning that buy box. Now, even if you get all of this right, and even if you are cheaper than Amazon by even quite a large margin, Amazon can and still might hold the buy box. That being said, this is one of the downsides of selling on Amazon. When you are playing by their rules, since you are selling on their platform, and sometimes they don't play fair. Now, in addition to this, when you are competing against Amazon and if they are hogging the buy box, even if you are beating them for price and you've got great metrics, quite simply, what does it mean? You are going to have further problems, such as you're going to incur fees like your storage fees. With Amazon hogging the buy box, you are not going to be selling your stock. Amazon's going to be selling theirs, and what's going to happen? You are going to have to pay the storage fees for the stock which you are not selling right now, because Amazon is obviously holding that buy box. And those fees will continuously rack up while your product stays in Amazon's warehouses. I know, again, not a fair marketplace. Now, after going through all the risks and issues when competing against Amazon, if you are still interested in competing against Amazon on a listing, then here are some things you need to check before you start thinking of competing against Amazon on a listing. So first things first, begin with checking the buy box history using the Keeper graph. This is important because it's a step that you will understand to determine what's known as the lowest price that Amazon has sold at in the past. This should help support you understand whether you want to compete versus Amazon or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump on a computer and try and help you understand what I'm saying here by understanding how to check the lowest selling price of Amazon using Keeper. This is a Chrome extension that you do have to pay for, Keeper, but it's going to be really useful in understanding when competing against Amazon. Here we are loaded up into a mint coloured watering can, 1.8 litres in the UK. Now, whether it be the UK or USA, it doesn't really matter. The same analysis exactly, should say, works that you're going to need to do. So first things first, let's come in and let's scroll down to that Keeper chart. And what I'll do is I'll just come right down. So right here, we've got the Keeper chart. Now, what I'm going to do is just zoom in and make it a bit easier for you to see. So here we are. Now, what are we looking at? Well, quite simply right now, you can see that if you know how to read Keeper, you'll see that right now there is no Amazon on the listing. You're looking for a shaded orange area. If I zoom out to basically all time, what you are going to notice is over here, this is Amazon. See this shaded orange area? If I hover over the Amazon, you can see it just kind of highlights that orange area. So that tells us that Amazon was on the listing back then. But right now, because of the date today, here, July 2021, there is no Amazon on that listing. Now, the one thing which I'll say for you is, if I kind of just zoom into this time around here, now let's say, for example, if we pretend this is today, and right now Amazon have been on the listing, but today, obviously they're not. We can see this big gap right here, they're not. Now, what would I do analysis-wise? Well, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be looking at what price Amazon was at when they were on the listing. And what I'm looking to do is looking at the lowest price Amazon has been historically. Now, generally speaking, I would always be looking at over the last 3 months to 1 year. So if we have a look here on this listing, you can see Amazon has pretty much been about $7.99. Now, that's a really important number to understand. Why? Because what I want to know is my break-even price lower or the same as the lowest price Amazon have ever been? Now, the reason why I say this is because if Amazon come back on the listing, then I may need to go right down to that price to match them, just to get my stock sold, to clear out that item and move on to another product. And I'm always thinking worst case scenario here. So whenever you're competing against Amazon, remember you're on their marketplace, their rules. Generally speaking, the way you're going to compete against them is by price. That's going to be the big part, because fulfillment by Amazon metric, obviously they have as well. And they obviously have great, they have a professional selling account as well, because they are Amazon. So price is going to be the major factor that you're going to be competing against. So what you need to understand is what is the lowest price Amazon have ever been, generally speaking, over the last 3 months to 12 months. And make sure that that price is not lower than your break even. Why? Because if they do come on, and if you do have to compete versus price, then quite simply, you are not going to be losing money. You are still just going to be getting your money back and moving on. But if it is below your break even, what's going to happen? You're going to compete on price, and you're probably going to lose a lot of money, because hey, Amazon will go down and match you on that. Find out, is that $7.99 or whatever price Amazon have been, is that the same or higher than your break even? That's something really important to know. So you've had a look now at whether Amazon's lowest historical price over the last 3 to 12 months has been at or above your break-even price. That's a really important number to understand. Now, the next one you want to think about is whether actually Amazon is sharing the buy box. That is so crucial. So let's jump back on the computer now, and I'm going to give you another example of a product where we can look and explain how to check if Amazon's sharing the buy box and what you're looking for. Okay, so here we are in like a My Protein weight gainer blend. Let's scroll down again to the keeper chart. So right here, and I'll just kind of zoom in to make that easier for you guys. Now, first things first, what I'm going to say is for this product, if you know how to read a keeper chart, you can probably tell that the buy box price, which is this pink line, is actually not the same as Amazon's price. So what does that tell us? Well, straight away, we can see that Amazon is sharing at certain times. But there's another way which you really want to be looking at, which is going to help you out. What I'm going to do is just hover over this buy box here. So once you hover over the buy box here, what you're going to see is this line along the top, and you'll see it there just along the top. Now, what am I looking at? I'm looking at the colors, and there are three colors you're going to see. You're going to see gold or yellow, which is Amazon. And what does that mean? It means at that moment in time, Amazon was controlling the buy box. You're going to see like an amber or an orange color. That means that fulfillment by Amazon's seller was controlling the buy box. And then you're going to see a blue one, which means the fulfillment by merchant seller was controlling the buy box. What are we looking for? We're looking to see that when Amazon is on the listing, so remember that the gold colored section, so I'll hover it there you go, gold. Whenever Amazon's on the listing, is there evidence that the buy box has been controlled by someone other than Amazon? If they have, then that gives us good confidence that Amazon is actually sharing the buy box, and we feel confident that they're going to share that with us if we join that listing. Now, the one thing which I will say is if you want to know more about ways to find out if Amazon is sharing the buy box, I'll drop a link above to a video I created about 3 ways to tell if Amazon shares the buy box. And I basically just do what I've done there in more detail, and it's actually quite a quick fire video. Check it out, I think it will really help you. Quick question for you guys, when competing against Amazon, what things are you checking before you jump in on that listing? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm interested to know what you're checking before you start competing against Amazon. Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, this leads me nicely onto number 3, the 3 ways to compete versus Amazon. Now, I went through the things that you'll need to be checking before you sell on Amazon or if you sell against Amazon. And now what I'm going to do is go through the 3 ways that you might be competing against Amazon. Number 1, the first situation is, for example, you've seen a profitable product on Amazon that you want to sell, but Amazon is on the listing. Now, what I will say is if Amazon is on the listing, you want to see evidence that they are sharing the buy box. What do? A long story short, you do 2 things first. First, you make sure that Amazon is sharing the buy box. And if they are not sharing the buy box, then generally speaking, just don't get involved. Do not sell regardless of the profit. It's not worth it. Then the second thing you want to do is if they are sharing the buy box, then review the lowest price Amazon has ever been selling at and make sure that you can still sell at that price without losing money. Just in case Amazon does go back down to their lowest historical selling price, then obviously you can still sell that product and not make a loss. Now, if you meet those 2 criteria, get involved. That happens, and I will say I have done that many, many times. Now, the second situation is whereby Amazon is entering a listing for the first time and should we say they have a lot of stock. Now, in this situation, you need to see or watch what Amazon does. Now, the majority of the time when Amazon enters the listing, they'll come on and they'll take control of the buy box, or they'll come in and share the buy box. Now, what I will say is if they are sharing the buy box, and obviously you'll see evidence of that through the keeper chart like we talked about before. Now, if that is great, then get involved. But if not, then that means they've now taken over control of the buy box. And what you're generally going to have to do is lower your price down. Now, maybe you're going to have to go really, really low to see at what price point Amazon is going to share that product. For me, generally, I will probably sit there with my repricer or even manually on Seller Central and actually change the price down and see at what point after 15-minute intervals for the price update to see at what price will Amazon give me the buy box. Now, at this point, you're going to have to make a decision. Either you sell at this new low price to sell through your stock, what you've done, or you can try and see and wait it out to see if Amazon will sell through their stock and you can continue selling at your original target price. Now, top tip for you guys, if Amazon have not sold out after a month, then most likely they're generally not going to sell out that quick, and they're probably going to be on the listing for a long period of time. That's what we generally see. They either have good supply chains or they'll come in and get out within a month. But if it's longer than a month, just get out. That's what I'd probably say. Now, the third situation is when Amazon enters the listing again. Maybe they were a year, 6 months ago, and now they're coming back on. Now, this third strategy is very similar to the one I've just mentioned earlier. If they come back on the listing again, they'll either take the buy box or they're going to share it. Now, like I said earlier, and I'll say it again, watch what Amazon does. And generally speaking, you're going to get two options or two results that are going to come out. Amazon is either going to share the buy box and allow you to sell at the price that you want to sell. So cool, get selling, fantastic. Or the other option is they're not going to share, they're going to hog it, and you're going to have to drop your price and see if what price Amazon can sell that or allow you to sell that at. Now, obviously, once you understand that price, you're going to get two options. One, do you compete versus Amazon at this new lower price? Obviously, maybe not making as much money. Or number two, do you wait for Amazon to sell out? And again, I'll come back. If Amazon haven't sold out after a month, you're probably not going to get them to sell out. So just get rid of the stock. That's the short answer. Right, what I will say is finding great deals can be challenging. And hey, my God, I found so many deals whereby they look profitable, but when you do the analysis and you see Amazon's on the listing, actually they are not as good as you think. But you know what? Finding deals is hard work. And if you are struggling to find deals, or perhaps maybe you've got more money than you're able to spend right now and you need some more deals, look no further than the FastTrackFBA leads service. This is a service whereby we have a team of VAs in the USA and another team in the UK sourcing 7 days a week, looking for all those deals, even the amazing ones found on weekends. What do? We put every single one of them onto our web platform. You can scroll through every single deal that we find, looking at them, getting them the moment they go live, pick and choose the right deals for you, and then you can unlock them using our token system, buy them from the supplier, sell them on Amazon. It's really unique. No one else does it this way. And the advantage is you get 7 days a week deals and you get to pick and choose the deals that work for your business. If you want to see more and want to learn more about FastTrackFBA leads, I'll drop a link down below. Check it out. I think you're really going to like it. Right, this leads me nicely onto chapter number 4, top tips for you. Look, first things first, number 1, don't compete against Amazon, problem solved. Easy answer. But number 2, if you are going to enter the listing where Amazon has previously sold, then what do I recommend? Try and keep at least, should we say, 3 months or more where Amazon has been off the listing. Now, if not, I'd probably say try and make it at least 6 months. So what am I saying? If you are going to sell on a listing where Amazon has historically been on the listing, but maybe they're not today, make sure that it's at least 3 months ago, if not 6 months as a minimum. That's just going to give you a bit more of a safety net. Now, number 3, what I'll say is if you are feeling adventurous and you want to compete versus Amazon, then make sure you can still compete versus Amazon at a profit when they're at the lowest price. So again, do that analysis, look at the keeper chart, look at the price Amazon has been, the lowest price they've ever been, and you want to make sure, can I still make a profit at that? Why? Because again, if Amazon are on the listing and they decide to go down to that price, then you're still going to be making money. But if you are not making money at that price and Amazon do decide to go down, well, you're making a loss. And at the end of the day, we are not here to make losses. So do your analysis. Now, this leads me nicely onto my 5th chapter. Do third-party sellers compete versus Amazon? Well, quite simply, we posted this question onto my YouTube channel on the community and we asked them, do they compete against Amazon? And the results showed 32% of them said yes, but 68% said no. Now, in conclusion, what does this tell us? Most of the sellers generally prefer not to compete against Amazon, and their reasons may be the same as mine. But again, there may be opportunities out there when it comes to selling against Amazon, and especially if you can see it's a good deal and all the other factors that we've talked about today, i.e. Amazon sharing the buy box, and you can support the price if you need to go that low, then certainly you can get involved. So it's kind of like a 2-to-1 ratio. People are competing against Amazon, but maybe not as many. Now, what I will say is after understanding how to compete against Amazon, you might have figured out how important it is to read keeper graphs correctly and especially checking the buy box history. That is why I've created a playlist called Keeper Training, which is going to provide you with a level of training that you need to take you from basic to expert level. Trust me, I spent a lot of time putting this together. So check it out. I'll drop a link around here to that playlist. that's going to help you in your business. Now, what I will say is hopefully you've liked this video, give me a good thumbs up. And hey, if you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button down below. But for me, Thomas Parkinson from FastTrackFBA, thank you very much.